Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my backyard. Today is December 6th, and this is my weekly shop update. So I am almost there. So very close. So this last week I spent some time working on the guards for the wheels and this transverse section and the log supports, and I started working on the log clamps as well. Let me take you around a little bit and show you some of the details of things that I've accomplished on the saw this week before the videos start coming out. Well, whenever those are done, I guess. So first off, on the guards, I made some doors, and these just like kind of fit over the wheel housings for now, and then I'll just kind of strap them on for now. I'll figure out some other more elegant way of attaching these later, but for now, they're gonna serve their purpose of just protecting me from the blade. So these just pop right off, and then there's the inside of the housing. Really simple, it's like a little box thing, and then this area here in the middle, I'll just build out a little bit and then put a piece of steel behind it to kind of fully enclose this. There's just this step here for the bearing mount and everything that I need to kind of step over. So I'll have a little bit of a step thing in here. And then on the front of the door, the shaft is a little too long, or it's a little bit longer than it really needs to be, I guess. So I'll have a little bit of a jet out there as well. And then on this side, on the drive side, I have a chute for the dust. So pretty exciting, huh? Yeah. Go. The transverse section is going to get hinged, so I have a piano hinge here that'll run down the length of the bottom there, so that way when I need to change the blade, I can just fold this whole area open and that'll be out of the way. And the last piece of guarding is down here. I still have to install this, but it'll be a piece of angle iron that runs from the outside all the way to here, and that's just to guard the blade as it comes out from the wheel to the guide where it's not being used. So the side supports are pretty simple. Since I'm going to be replacing this at some point anyway with the hydraulic log handling stuff, I didn't want to spend too much time making anything super fancy, but I came up with this, I guess, simple-ish solution. So I have these pockets, there's 6 of them, and that'll allow me to put these posts into them. And you can like put as many posts or as little posts as you want. You can have different lengths depending on the size of logs you have. So these can be adjusted up and down, whatever position you want. And then I also have shorter ones, so when the logs are squared up into cants, there'll just be a short one that comes up just off the bed a little bit with a spike in it, so I can grab the cant, and that cant can't move anywhere, and you can saw all the way down to the last board without the side support getting in the way. Now the log clamp is really simple. I just have one installed right now, but I'll be adding 3 more throughout the bed to have more clamping options and to be able to put more than one clamp on a log if that's needed. This is really simple. I have a piece of 3/4 inch pipe. This is just gas pipe from the hardware store that spans from both sides of the bed, and riding on that is this T-fitting for a 1-inch pipe that slides on there pretty well, but as it gets canted or tilted back, it locks into place and doesn't move. And then on this side, I just have a piece of all thread with a nut welded on the end. So basically a homemade bolt that I sharpened the end of it, and that allows you to just kind of turn it into the log and clamps it in place. So it is freezing out here today. So let's head into the shop, take a look at some viewer projects, and I have a few things in the shop to look at as well. First this week is a walnut desk with live edge and sculpted base by Ross. I showed Ross's coffee table a few weeks ago, and this is a matching desk. The construction methods were very similar to the coffee table, but on this one he used the domino to do all the joinery for the base. And the desk, of course, also has a drawer, and you can check out Ross's work over on Instagram. Next is homemade oak flooring by Andy. The flooring is mostly red oak with a few white oak boards tossed in, and the boards are 6 to 9 inches wide, and about half of them run the full 11-foot width of the room. He stained them with a cherry stain and finished them with 2 coats of a water-based polyurethane. Next is a reclaimed wood dining table by Pete. He recently had an opportunity to salvage some lumber from a house that was built in St. Louis in 1882. He grabbed everything he could, mostly 2x8s, and had enough material to make a table that was 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 36 inches tall. Pete has a few videos on his YouTube channel about making this table. He goes into detail about how he was able to create good tight fitting joinery from lumber that was not square, because he was trying to maintain that reclaimed character. So since it's a little warmer in here, I thought I could show you a little more details of the log clamping system without freezing to death. So one of the things that I did was make my own flanges instead of buying the cast ones you can get at the stores. And to do that, pretty simple process. I just took I think it was like 2.5 or 3-inch nipple, and I cut it in half. So I have one of these, and I got a coupler. So that becomes the female threads for the pipe that goes into it, and then that just goes welded to a plate, and then there is your flange essentially. The net cost on this nipple was like $1.50, and the coupler was $1. So I have $1.75 in this scrap piece of 1/4-inch steel. Nothing, I guess. So for under $2, I got a flange, as opposed to paying, I think, like $5 at the home center. So in my case, I needed like 8 of them. The other thing I'll mention too is on the actual clamp. You can really see it on the log, but this is what that bolt assembly looks like. This is a piece of all thread. I sharpened this side to not quite a point, but just a conical thing. And this gets welded to a plate, and then this all gets threaded in to hold that log in position. So super simple, low tech on the clamp, because I have much bigger plans for that part of the mill in the future. One thing I got this week is this awesome aluminum sign. This was cut on a water jet. Ray Pena made this for me. He was the guy who made the drive shaft for the mill, and he made this awesome sign to go up on the carriage on the mill for me. So aluminum should last out there indefinitely. So thank you, Ray. He has a video over on his channel about making that sign on his water jet that you can check out. And if you haven't seen him making the drive shaft for the mill, I'll have a link to that video as well. So lastly this week, we have to pick a winner for the Triton router. So let me head over to the computer here and pick somebody. Whoop. We had, let's see, almost 9,000 entries, which is awesome. Thank you so much for everyone who entered. Let's see who is the winner. The winner is Brian. No last name. Okay, Brian with no last name, I will contact you at the email you provided here and let you know you won. So, well, I know a lot of people's name is Brian, so if you don't get an email from me, you probably didn't win. Sorry. It's going to be a pretty exciting week, I think. I've got a lot of things to get through on the mill, a lot of little things, but a lot of the stuff I did the fabrication for inside yesterday. So in theory, it should all be assembly and just putting it on the mill and just being done with it. Super looking forward to moving on. And then we'll see how frustrating it is. Hopefully it won't be frustrating to get it calibrated and tuned up. Got my box of shim stock ready to go. So I think that's about all I have for this week. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today, or anything in my shop or back on the sawmill, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.